There's an urgent crisis that's happening right now, and it's very satisfying to provide this treatment because it's so effective, and you really get the feeling that you're changing people's lives. I have lived through addiction in my family, and I had a family member that died of a heroin overdose when I was growing up, and it feels natural to me to try to give back in that way. So I think for people that are addicted to opiates, the major thing is that there are biological treatments available. There are medicines available that are the gold standard of treatment now. If you want me to geek out, Suboxone or buprenorphine, which is the active ingredient in Suboxone, is what's called a partial agonist. It goes to that opiate receptor in the brain, and it activates it, but just to a small amount. Heroin is a little bit like going to that spot in your brain, and it treats it like a light switch. It's off and it turns it on. What buprenorphine does is it goes to the same spot, but instead of a light switch, it treats it a little bit like a dimmer switch. So it turns the lights on, but only about 40% of the way on. Invariably, a lot of times patients want to turn the page on their addiction. They want to be finished with all this treatment, and when am I ready to get off this medicine and kind of move on with my life as if everything is going to be fine and good. And what I often find myself saying is, well, you know, if you were a diabetic and you were coming into my office and you had perfect blood sugars, at what point do you think you would say, well, doc, you know, my sugars have been so good, when's it time for me to come off the insulin? You wouldn't ever, and people kind of chuckle and they say, well, you know, okay, that sort of makes sense. The reason why you're feeling good and the reason why you're staying stable, it's because of this medicine. And, you know, more and more we're looking at this kind of an illness as a chronic condition that we want to try to manage. And sure, one day you want to get off of your opiate replacement. I think that tends to be off in the future, though. For most people, we want to look at managing this over time, and really the healing and the change, they take a long time. We have to be very patient about that. Hope drives change. Guilt and shame and fear and embarrassment don't make people stop. They don't help people to get better.